So I spent the last few hours installing my Bobilvans Hot Water kit. So basically it takes the hot air from my diesel heater, goes through a diverter, so basically that's like a flap. You can move that across, so the flap basically changes whether the hot air can go in or out of the heat exchanger, which is there. I've got the bumper kit, which is different to everything I'd seen in the videos. It's basically a double big one. The bumper kit used to be a large heat exchanger and a small one bolted together. So initially I had it connected wrongly, because there was nothing to reference it, not even the instructions that came with the kit. But basically I've wired up the two control panels, got them temporarily situated there. That's not where they're going to go. They're actually going to go up on the shower wall when it's done. But basically, there's the wiring instructions. There's the plumbing instructions. There's the wiring instructions. One note of caution: the wires from the little pump, they're absolutely tiny. The little red and black one there, they're very, very small. So basically what I've done is I've got the first control unit set to 30 degrees. So the ambient air temperature in the heater at the moment is, as you can see, is 26.7. So I'll flick my diesel heater on. Yeah, she's on. So it'll take a little while. You'll see that temperature just start to go up in a little while. Now I had this running yesterday and I've insulated the kit. So basically what you do is you get a sensor from the second one. So this is the water sensor, that's the air sensor. So basically that detects air from a little probe. Don't know if you can see it very well, to be honest. Can't really get a view. Let me just pull it out and put it back in again. So there's the sensor. It goes into a little hole on the back of the unit, just in there, and that picks up the temperature. So in a minute, when the diesel heater fires up properly, you'll see now that the temperature's just started to rise. So this has a 2 degrees centigrade overrun. So when that gets to 32 degrees, it should kick the other sensor into play, and then that will detect the temperature of the water in my tank. So that should be around about 37, 38 degrees, because I actually had it on overnight. Well, I had it on last night, and then overnight it's kept warm inside the insulation I put in. So that's just some Celotex with some silver foil wrapped in. So if we keep an eye on this temperature, when the diesel heater kicks in, that'll raise quite quickly in temperature. So it's just starting to prime now. So one of the reasons that's cooling slightly is the fan starting to come in the diesel heater, so it's blowing cold air from the back of the diesel heater through. But once it powers up, the fan starts kicking in. Sorry, there's an aeroplane going over, and that was typical. Once the hot air starts running through, temperature will rise quite sharply, and when it gets to 32 degrees, it should kick in the other display. So I can hear the pump priming. It's about to accelerate the fan any second now. So I'll keep the camera on that so we can just see it when it kicks in. So the fan's just starting to accelerate on the diesel heater. So any second now we should start seeing the temperature rise. And there's very little, there's a few videos on YouTube about this, but literally nothing with the same heater matrix as what I'll heat. Oh God, what do you call them? Radiators of some description. So there was nothing with the same setup as mine. So initially I'd plumbed it in back to front, I think. So now the diesel heater is probably kicking off. I don't know if you can hear that now. So that temperature any second now should start rising quite sharply. Here we go. So basically this first sensor here, once this figure gets to 32, because of some, I don't know why, it's got a 2 degree overrun, but basically once it gets to 32 there'll be a red light comes on there, then this panel will kick into action and it will show my desired water temperature, which I've set to 50, and it will have the actual water temperature, which I reckon should be about 37, maybe 38 degrees. So we'll keep an eye on that. So basically that's now reading the air temperature coming through the diesel heater. A manual feel of the air coming out, it's just like starting to get warm now. As I say, that's just all temporarily connected in for now, just to get it all up and running. I went for the bumper kit with the diverter, and I've set the diverter. Here we go. It's just kicking at 32 degrees. It should pop straight on. There we go. So all working like the temperature, like I thought, is 38 degrees. It's set for 50. So I've got that tank probably 2/3 full, so about 14 litres, something like that. So that will take about 10 or 15 minutes to heat up to 50 degrees. Yeah, I went for the option, so if you only run the van, the water system really in the summer, they advise you to put that diverter after the two heaters there, water heaters. If you're going to run it in the winter, which I will be, they advise you to put it in the front. So run that in the front. I've got a cable which I haven't connected yet, which will allow me. It's like the old automatic, the old manual choke cables, push, pull. So I'll get that rigged up once I get all my furniture holding on the back. And now the temperature's starting to rise on the heater side. So that's just starting to get warm. Not warm there yet, but basically the pump will kick into action at some point, and then that temperature will start rising. So the temperature's dropped slightly in the water. That's just the actual sensor getting accustomed to what's in there. Now the water temperature's starting to rise a touch. So it'll take probably 10, maybe 15 minutes to heat that water up. So I'll pause the video here and then we'll rejoin once the water warms up a little bit. So pick this up 5 minutes later. As you can see, the water temperature has risen up to 44.3. So basically the water pump is pulling water out from that side of the tank through, pumping it down through into the heat exchanger, pushing it back up through into the tank. So that's like getting quite hot now, as are the other two. So the temperature of the water is rising quite nicely. So all good. Pick it up in another 5 minutes or so when the water's up to temperature. So here we are, 5-6 minutes later, so in total about 12-13 minutes. We're up over temperature. The heat exchangers will obviously still be heating up the water, so the temperature climb a touch, but the pump's turned off now, so the water will stabilise around about that temperature. That's just starting to drop a little bit now. But yeah, that's a really good system. The water's nice and hot, ideal for shower. Should be enough water in there for me to take a couple of showers. And that didn't take long to work at all. All free heat off the diesel heater. So I'm really pleased with that system. Kudos to Bobilvans for getting that kit. It's all in all for less than £400, including my 2 tanks, the diesel heater and the heat exchanger kit. I've got hot air and hot water in my van, so I'm well pleased with that. So time to get that all basically boxed in and heater controls extended, and finish the job off. But that's the Bobilvans kit. Really pleased with that, very impressed. Thanks for watching.